Hey everybody, it's Malika from Love Your Damn Self podcast back at you again today. And I hope you're having a beautiful damn day on today. Now let's get into it. We got a good one today. And I am going to try to behave myself and really take my time and break this down because it's a lot of information. Okay, so I just want to let you all know, let's get it out the way first. Make sure that you are following the podcast. You can listen to it anywhere that you get your podcasts. And also that you are following me on my Instagram page, which is Real Talk with Malika. You can follow me also on Twitter. Although I just got back on Twitter, somehow I thought I was tweeting, getting automatic tweets over there, and I wasn't. Okay, and my Twitter handle is Real Talk Malika, and then of course on Facebook you can follow me at Malika Speaks TV. YouTube again, Malika Speaks TV. So we got all the preliminaries out of the way because I always forget to tell y'all those, and I really, really want to talk about this subject today. It is on my heart about breaking the programming. All right, breaking the programming. And I'm going to make it all make sense. So stay with me, okay? When I talk about breaking the programming, I'm talking about the programming of society. I'm talking about the programming of the others. I'm talking about the programming of culture, especially cultural influences, right? Because culture does influence us, right? It could be any kind of culture. It could be gang culture. It could be this thug culture, this model culture, this Eurocentric beauty culture, thought culture, church culture, business culture, family culture, on and on and on and on. And within these cultural and societal influences, there are programs, right? Programs that taught you dumb shit, wrong shit, and negative shit. So we're going to be talking about breaking the programs of that, the dumb shit, the wrong shit, and the negative shit. Because the reason why you have to break these programs is like it's evident. Because again, it's dumb shit. It's the wrong shit. And it's negative shit. And those are the programs that need to be broken within us so that we can unload, right? We can let go and we can feel what real love feels like and what self-love feels like ultimately. Because real love is self-love. And different people, what you have to understand is have different programs. They do different things. Now, I'm going to talk about this when I talk about programs, I want you to think about this in a computer kind of context. And don't worry, it's going to get gooder and gooder. I just have to give you this background so that you understand completely what we're dealing with. I want you to try to open up your heart chakra so that you can receive what I'm saying and you won't be just blocked automatically by cognitive dissonance. Okay. So, different people, right, do different things. Different programs do different things. If you think about computer programs, I'm going to talk about my computer. So on my computer, I might have a program called Power Director, which I use a lot. And I use that for my videos and editing and a lot of my motivationals and things like that. So I will use Power Director. And then I might have Microsoft, Office. And I might use that for a lot of my business stuff. So I might have Word on there and PowerPoint and Excel. And then I might have another program, let's say Quicken or QuickBooks. And I might use that as my accounting software and on and on and on and on. So different people, me, Malika, I have a set of programs on my computer. These are things that are all different and that I learned to do different things within the context of all of these different things, right? I learned to do different things within the context of these different things, these different programs. And so what happens when you download a program on your computer, it gets stored somewhere. It gets stored on your hard drive. It gets stored in the memory of that computer. And you can liken that unto us as people. When different programs are downloaded into us, right, it gets stored. The mind remembers. Remember, the body remembers. I know this very well from, and I'm going to use this as an example too, my illness when I was diagnosed with lupus. And lupus is an autoimmune disease or deficiency where the body basically fights against itself. And what happened to me was basically my program crashed. My body crashed. It completely was out of whack. It wasn't in tune with anything going on because of all of the different programs that I had. And eventually it just couldn't hold up anymore, right? So today we're talking about breaking the program. And what I want you to think about is how many programs you're set up with. How many programs are you set up with? Did you come here with? All right. You didn't come here, I don't think, as a baby. Okay, you had some things that were just genetically installed into you. That could be, through your DNA, that your father was a very good athlete, that your mother was a good crafter, that your eyes were blue or brown, that your hair was thick and curly or thin and straight or, whatever it is. Those are the things that you generally come here with. But then there were programs that you were set up with, programs that happened between the ages of 0 and 7, and then other programs that happened between 7 and 14, then other programs that happened between 14 and, let's say 17, and then other programs that happen between 17 and 20, and on and on and on and on. So you're constantly downloading these programs into your system, often without upgrading the very thing that you have holding all these programs together. Does that make sense so far? Okay. So that's first. And then the second thing is who installed these programs on you, to you, who gave them to you? Your mother and your father and your family could have gave you a set of programs. Your environment gives you some programming. The school system gives you programming, depending on where you were. The government gives you programming. Religious organizations give you programming. Friends and peers give you programming. So there's different things that, happen to different people at different times. And the problem is that we have all these programs running, which have never been upgraded. Now, okay, let's take it into the computer. If I have a Microsoft, I don't know, Windows 10 or something, I remember Windows 8, I remember Windows 7, and on when it wasn't called Windows, what the numbers, just Windows 98. I'm old, I'm dating myself, right? So we have all these programs running. They've never been upgraded or adjusted or corrected in our system. We've never attempted to do that. And if we have attempted to do that, our system might have started glitching. So we said, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Or it might have attempted to shut down. We said, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Or it's just too old, right? So when you have an old running programming system, you stay stuck in that old programming style. That's usually when the world has changed, technology has changed, we've moved on, and it's 2020 and you still in 2008. You still doing 2008 stuff in 2020. And it's because of your programming. And the big thing with this program that we have is the cognitive dissonance. When someone comes up against, this is the belief system, okay? When somebody comes up against something that you instinctively and innately have already taken as this is mine, this is what I believe, then there's no conversation about updating your system, or there's no conversation about tweaking something that could be wrong because you don't even want to hear it. You've already distanced yourself from it because of what you believe. Now, what you could believe in could be totally and completely wrong. It could just be wrong. But because it is, remember we talked about the memory, your programming is stored so deeply inside of your memory, you don't want to let it go. Now, even if you install a program, right? You could take something and you could be like, my phone will be like, because I do a lot of videos on here, and it'll be like, you don't have no more space. And then I'll have to delete, 5 or 6 apps, 6 or 7 videos to make more space for the new thing that I am trying to put on my phone. But a lot of us as people, we don't want to make more space. We're like, no, I don't care. That has to stay on it. You hold on to these things. And like, even when I uninstall a program, it's still there. If I go back, say I uninstall something I don't need. Let me think of a big one. Okay, WhatsApp. I wasn't really dealing with a lot of people overseas anymore. And WhatsApp, the app was taking up a lot of space. So I deleted it. Well, one of my friends moved to Mexico and we reconnected again. And I had to download it again. And when I went back to download it, it was like, oh, it's still here. You know what I mean? All you got to do is open it back up and it'll be here. And I'm like, damn, it never really went away. And that's how it is in our programming. When it gets so stored in us, it never really goes away. It's kind of laying there dormant and, just gets re-triggered. Now, I could really relate to this in terms of if you know anything about, like I talked about, dealing with the illness, lupus, exactly how it works. They call it the mysterious disease, and it attacks whatever parts of the body and the organs that it wants. It could be laying dormant for a very, very long time, and then something will trigger it. The weather or stress, or you're under attack from something else, and then you get re-triggered, and you thought it's gone and it's there. And I've experienced that myself, like for years, lupus free. I mean, it's just not even showing up, and then boom, one day it just like, damn, I thought you was gone, and you try to come back again. So I say all of that to say that we need to break the programming. The dumb shit, the wrong shit, and the negative shit. All of those are programs. And when your program won't allow you to accept anything new, then you definitely have to reevaluate if there's something in there that needs to be fixed and tweaked. Are you glitching, and why are you glitching? And I find that, or I have found that in my journey, if you do not do this, then you will suffer from being able to experience, right? Like a new program. Say, I love that Apple does this. And I'm not giving credit to anybody, okay? Because I'm not getting paid. This is not a paid advertisement for any of the companies. Let me say that disclaimer that I mentioned. This is only for educational purposes, educational and teaching purposes. That's it. All right. So let's say Apple's very great at this. They come out with a new version. You just got the iPhone, let's say 6. Boom. They come out with the 6S. You just get, okay, then you get the 6S. They come out with the 7.7. I'm just making up crazy stuff, right? I know that's not their series. And then you get that, and they come out with another thing, and you might have that. And then they're constantly advertising another thing, which is basically the same thing that you already have with a few tweaks and upgrades. All right. And that's a beautiful thing because they're advancing in technology. They understand what their customer base wants, and therefore they can present it to their customers, right? And your programming works the same way. First of all, your whole system needs to be updated. If you've never updated your system, then hunty, you are you far gone. You're far removed from what's going on here, and you can't accept a lot of the new stuff that we download. You ever try to send somebody, my mother was good for this. I'll be like, Mom, did you get the picture I sent you? She'd be like, no, I didn't get no picture. I just see a pencil or I just see a box. I'm like, because your software is not upgraded enough to receive the new information that I'm sending you. So when she got the phone, they could finally get the pictures and she could call me on the video call. Oh, what a day it was. She had finally upgraded. So now she could receive all of the good stuff that I have been trying to send her for years. You understand where I'm going with this, talking about the programming? All right, let's get deeper. Let's go deeper. That's basic. And we have 15 minutes and 30 seconds. Check this out. These programmings we get, right? Like, for example, I'm sure a lot of our programming for marriage and relationships has been marriage is forever. A man and a woman gets married and they stay married forever. They have 2 little kids. They get a white picket fence and, they go on and life is good. But that's a programming that somebody gave us, because the real truth is we live in an outdated model of relationships. We really do. There's no room because of what we have traditionally been taught. In the programming that we have been given, it's true. There's no room to accept anything else. So if somebody starts talking to us about a polygamous relationship or an open relationship or a same-sex relationship or whatever it is, we're like, oh no. We immediately reject that because our way is the right way because of the programming. Most of the time, we can really accept it. We like, shoot, Bob love Bob. Sarah loves Sarah, or Sarah, Bob, and Judy want to be together. Hey, that's cool. Or, whatever works for them. But because of our programming, we immediately distance ourselves from that, right? Okay, so we see that happen in that type of relationship. I'm sorry, in that type of context. We also see, like, somebody might say a program, it might be like, they would say, women need to, don't worry about money, just find love. What? Wait, what? Wait, bitch, what? That's a program. Here's where I get crazy. So y'all should know already, although this is about, hold on, y'all. This better be working. Because I thought I turned it off. Okay, I got to go into my do not disturb. Oh my gosh. I hope this is working, y'all. Hold on. Let me press stop it. I'll be right back. It's a lot of information. Okay, so I just want to... Okay, it was working. I'm back. This is in real time. So like I was saying, we giving examples for programming, right? I gave you the marriage example and I gave you the find love over money. Okay, that's where we left off. Finding love over money. And I said that was crazy. But that's a programming, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, maybe arranged marriages work, or maybe, 2 people in a financial position can come to some sort of agreement that may not be in love, but, that may love each other. Like, different things work for different people. But what I'm saying is, if you come from the programming of, oh my God, I got to find, love over, money, then you might end up with somebody broke. I'm just saying it. You know what I mean? And listen, love don't pay no bills. Okay, love ain't gonna buy you no juice. Them little green juices you like. Love ain't gonna get you no Starbucks. Love ain't gonna get you no ribeyes or no vegan chickpeas. It ain't gonna do none of that. All right. So, but these are programmings. Another program, and y'all know I respect my elders, but respect your elders, right? That's a programming, because you got a lot of elders out here that's crazy AF. You feel me? And that are horrible, that are abusive. So I think it has to have some context rather than just respect your elders. Maybe it's respect your elders that respect you, or respect your elders that respect others, or respect the elders that need to be respected. It's these basket principles that we take, these programmings, and we hold them near and dear to our hearts. Another one where we protect the abuser, where we don't say anything, where, mind your own business. What happens in this house stays in this house. Oh, don't say nothing. Don't get in that. That's their business. And all of this kind of craziness. So there are different things that happen in different programs. Those are just a few, just to demonstrate and give you a real example, right? But what happens inside of these programs is that there are codes, just like inside of the Power Director I talked about, or Microsoft Office, or WhatsApp, or whatever else is on your computer. If you're a gamer, there are codes that you cannot see, codes that coders understand, right? That come with certain programs that you accept with the program. You don't even know what the codes are, but you accept them along with the program because they came with the program. The same thing with you. When you accept certain programs, especially the ones that are put into you that you really have no control over, the ones where you are younger and you just learn certain things because of society or environment or family or whatever. Religion is a big one, and I'm going to get into it. They come with certain codes, right? And you can't do anything about it. You don't even know that these codes are within these programs. So, yeah, I really understand this at the deepest level. There's so much to accepting program. Now, here's where we go into story time. And I hope this part will really help you to relate. All right, understand, gather around, girls and boys, all my beauties and all my beasts. No, I don't want to call them men and beasts. All my beauties and I call them beauty and beards at my Her Balance Nation. So all of my beauties and all of my brothers. Okay, I need y'all to gather, because I know some of y'all brothers sneak on here. And it's okay. And then you'll hit me up like, oh, this was for the ladies. No, this is really for everybody, because, my job is to lift up humanity. However, yeah, I'm assigned to the ladies. I can't help that. Right? So what happens here in my story, I can understand this programming thing from really the perception of my illness, but also I can understand it because I was heavy as a religious person. I won't even say spiritual person. I've always been a spiritual person, but I got heavy into religion, and it caused a lot of programs to glitch and to tweak and to crash within my system. You feel me? So I understand this well about breaking the program. Now listen, a good place to help you is this. What you got to understand about a programming is everybody has, like we talk, things that were put into them, but we also have a personality type. Everybody has a different astrology program, things that happen within that, your planetary alignment. You have a different mental capacity. You have a different subconscious level that you might be on. What else? You have different tools and resources. Some of us have a rebellious nature with these programmings. Some of us have low emotional capacity because of things that we've gone through, emotional stimulus levels that go along with these programs. So it's not just that you learned something and it was bad or wrong or negative. It's the type of person that you are that goes along with learning these programs that can really make things go wrong, right? So you have to think about how your programming shaped you. Now, let me break this down in terms of breaking the programming. I'm going to share my personal story from a religious standpoint. Okay. Let me just talk about that. I grew up, like semi-religious. Let's just say that. My mother and father were Muslims when I was younger, but they both came from Christian families. And both of their Christian families were strong Christian families. And then when they united and decided that they wanted to practice Islam, they were also strong in that, So this was the faith system that was based on that, their lives was based on, that I was born into. And so when I was younger, after my parents split, being raised with my mom, she was still practicing Islam. So I was like kind of a Muslim / Christian girl, right? My mom was practicing Islam. However, I went to church all of the time with my grandmother. Now, my grandmother, both of them came from, the generation of the Jesus people. You know what I mean? This is, Jesus got them through a mighty long way and brought them through a mighty long time. And I didn't have any relationship with this Jesus character. Now, hey, before you get offended, I'm just sharing my truth and my experience. So don't go talking about how you was offended because I talked about it. I'm sharing my stuff. So anyway, I did not have a relationship with the character of Jesus, with the Bible or the scriptures or any of that. I only knew the programming, what was taught to me, showed to me, explained to me, or that. I didn't have my own personal relationship, because that's what they call it, right? I didn't have a personal relationship with Jesus. So as I grew older, there really was nothing to hold on to. When you are just on your grandmama's Jesus, okay, and you're not holding it on to it for yourself, and you just on your mama's Quran or whatever that is put in you, but you it's not for yourself, it's not being revealed to you, then there's nothing for you to really hold on to. So which is what happened. So I wasn't like practicing anything as I became a young adult. However, I started feeling a deep connection to want to explore and to want to, now, mind you, I came up under many schools. Remember, I told you Islam. I was around 5%ers. I knew about Jehovah's Witnesses. I knew about other denominations within Christianity. And I also knew what our family, was. So there was many things. And then I had other friends that were into other things. So I really was schooled. I'll tell you that a whole nother day. But there were a lot of schools of thought I came up underneath. But I was always open and I always knew, what I believed or what I wanted. Always very spiritual, but did not know how to tap into it at that time. So I went to what was most familiar to me, which was Christianity, right? Because I was like, okay, well, maybe, if I do this, they say if I do this, then this would do that. Because Christianity was all about outcomes. Like, if you're good, God will bless you. If you give money, you might give things. If you act right, then you'll be pleasing in God's eyes. To me, it was always, they were always given outcomes. And I'm a very results-oriented person. I'm a very results-oriented individual. So outcomes, I was like, oh, okay, if I do this, I could cross this off. I could cross this off. I could cross this off, right? And Islam to me was more about, the way I looked at it at that time was, it rules. It was too stringent for me. We had to dress a certain way. We had to pray 5 times a day. We had to eat a certain way. I came up in the Nation of Islam and it was all about eat to live, which was beautiful because I take that programming into my life today. However, so, that was my experience. And then I started getting deeper into Christianity. But because I really had no base, I'm going to say no base, right, that I had held on to myself prior to getting into this, I was kind of empty. So it was easy for somebody to come and fill me up with anything that they wanted to. It was just going to be what I was, drawn to. And I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to belong. And I saw, hey, in this church thing, they say they love me and, I'm a part of the family and all that. So it just resonated with me at the time. Now, I never did any research. I never asked any questions, which most people don't. I was just going off of what I knew from going to church, with grandma. So you understand how a programming, and so being that I'm empty and I come into this religious programming, it was very, very easy to tell me whatever, to exploit me, to do, I went through probably the most severe abuse besides domestic violence, which was the most severe abuse that I had ever been through in the Christian church. I'm just, hey, let's just put it out there and say it for what it really is, right? And that's not my issue that I have with the church, because I went through those things. They try to say, we talking about breaking the program, and stay with me, because I went through those things. That's why she don't like the church, and she don't like, it has nothing to do with any of those things. It's just, it does not resonate with my soul. The way that we do Christianity, white Christianity, it doesn't resonate with me anymore. Okay. So anyway, this deprogramming. So there was a lot that I went through. I came in empty. It was easy to fill me up with anything. And it was just really a religious routine. And the more that I learned about it, because see, I go hard for anything, the harder I went for it. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to just fast forward a lot, because there's a lot of details in that. But the deprogramming part. So let's just say I've been thrown out of a couple churches. I rocked a couple boats. And when people don't, or when you elevate, how should I say this? When you elevate and you grow and something no longer resonates with you, and you decide that you need to move on, or whatever the case may be, I really saw this people, or this church, or Christianity, or whatever this thing was, really for what it was, really, truly. Okay. And as I started to break the programming, it took years to break that specific type of programming out of my life, because I had held on to those beliefs so hard and so strong, even though a lot of the things were wrong, even though a lot of the things that I were being taught or were being said to me, or that could take me 2 days to go into that. But we're talking about, how do you break a programming, or breaking a programming? So it was very difficult to break something that I strongly believed in. But I had to start looking at, okay, do I just want to hold on to something because it's fuzzy, it's nice, and I'm familiar with it? I know all the, let's just keep it real. It's like, I know all the people here. I know all the songs. I know what time to be here. I know all the meetings. I know how this particular thing works. So if I break away from it, where am I going to be? I'm just going to be like a fish out of water. So it took years to deprogram myself from, because first you leave the place. That's just like step A. Just like if you leave a marriage, it took me years to, detox from being in a long marriage, right? I had to not only leave, but when I left, let's just say for both places, when I left, I had been gone already. That was just, okay, now I'm taking the physical step to leave. And then after that, there's other steps that you have to take to deprogram yourself. You almost have to unbelieve what you don't believe. Now, here's the part where my illness came in. Okay, when I was diagnosed with this illness, or when I was starting to, become physically challenged, health challenged, that's when I was coming out of organized religion. So it's like everything was happening at the same time. But I really got to understand what deprogramming is, because the illness taught me how to break my program, how to not rely on what I knew, everything that I thought was sure. I hope I'm making sense, y'all. Everything that I thought was sure, that I held on to, that I believed in, was now tested in this illness. And I had to really see if what I had been talking about and quoting about and singing about and people telling me about was really what it was. And at the end of the day, it was not. So my faith was challenged. My belief system was challenged. Everything was challenged. But it was a beautiful experience for me to totally let go and come out of that. Now, I found out in my deprogramming, like, you miss it. You miss the people, like in the in church, because that's what we talk about. I miss those people sometimes. I had missed the way it was. And because, it's like your crew, your sense of belonging, wherever you might find it. But I knew that, my spirit was saying that it was taking me further. It was beyond that. I just think it's so sad that people stay in kindergarten their whole lives when there's so much more. There was so much more for me to receive. There was so much more for me to learn. There was so much more for me to grow than being in the stifled, environment or place that I was, or the stifled environment or place that I was in my marriage, or the stifled environment and place that I was in my womanhood. Whatever it was, I was now at that crossroad where I needed to understand, damn, this is a programming. I believe a set of things because I was really programmed to believe a set of things. And then I was able to, after the cognitive dissonance, because we all go through that, I was able to open up my mind, my heart, my spirit, and say, okay, if I have this programming, then what other programs am I struggling with that are not allowing me to be, to live in my total zenith, to reach my highest maximum capacity of who I really am? I'm not living in my real truth. And that's when I started really understanding about living in my real truth. What do I always say? Speak your truth, live your truth, and be your truth. I had to be my truth. I couldn't just speak my truth anymore. I couldn't even just lead anymore by example. I had to be my truth, what my truth was for me, not for others, not for family, not for culture, not for society, not for all of these other things, even the personality that I had to understand and tap into. Oh, this is my personality. This is how I am. So this is why I receive things the way that I receive things. My astrological program. Oh, my planets are aligned like this. Like, I'm made up of water, so I'm full of emotion. This is why I'm like this. My mental capacity, understanding that I just been diagnosed with 3 life-threatening illnesses. My whole life has turned upside down, and now I'm in a new normal. So dealing with my mental aerobics of breaking the program, because every time you just think of something shattering. I'm going to see if I put some shattering noises on here. But every time you break a program, it's like it tries to creep back into your mental and tell you, that's not that. That's is this. And, ways to justify it when it just needs to be broken. So I'm constantly fighting the mental and the programs, that I have broken. Tools and the resources, some of the resources I had, but some of the resources I had to gain. Some of the tools I had, but some of the tools I had to gain. Some things I had to learn in the midst of other things. Some things that had to be revealed to me. Some things that could only be feelized, that could not be just realized. I had to feel them. I had to go through it to understand, oh, this is what it is. And this is, my emotional capacity, for being able to accept some things that I accepted and to now be able to not accept those things, coming up against it all the time, like a boxer, because it's not my natural nature. You understand what I'm saying? It was not my natural nature to not be mean, but to just like stand up for myself, or to say, not to stand up for myself. I don't have a problem with that. Or to just, take it and just say, okay, whatever, I'll deal with that later. Or this ain't that bad. Or, I'm the one always said, this ain't that bad. I have a very high, the doctor asks you, how high is your tolerance for pain? I have a very high tolerance for pain. And I'm not proud of that. I know that comes from taking a lot of shit, from going through, a lot of trauma. So there are programs, circle back. Now that we talked about all that, there are programs in each of us. Your programs that you have to break might not be of a religious order. You might have to break a family programming, like shit they told you that was just wrong. Like all men are dogs. You ever hear that? You have some aunties tell you that, or men ain't shit. Maybe your mama told you that. That's a programming. Then you grow up believing it, acting it out. You know what I mean? Even if it's not true, holding on to it, not allowing yourself to ever, have something beautiful because you just believe men ain't shit. So we all have different programs that we have to overcome. One of my programs that I fight with the hardest was, being the caretaker, loving everybody else, caring about everybody else. What's they gonna think and how's they gonna feel? And if I don't do this, then they gonna feel sad. Or if I don't encourage her, she might have a bad day today. And fuck all of that. You heard? You feel me? It's about loving my damn self. How am I going to feel based on answering the phone and talking to your ass today? Okay. What is my day going to be like if I give you some encouragement? Maybe my tank is on empty and I just don't have it to give you today. Or I can hear in your voice, you already taking me down that road. So, it's a lot of different things that we must overcome as people, and especially, as women. So the point of this whole thing, I really wanted to go way, way deep. But I got to give it to you in baby steps. It's to identify awareness first. Where the programs are, or do you have any programs? No, not do you, because we all have programs that shape us. But what are the programs that shaped you? And getting rid of what no longer serves you. If that program does not serve you, delete that shit. Uninstall it on your system. Put some new updated software on your damn computer, which is you. Get you some new apps. Learn some new stuff. Get the latest thing so you can get the pictures and you can get the videos and you can get all of that stuff. Stop working with an outdated model of success for your future. And if you do that and you align your chakras and you get into some deep meditation and you do some spiritual work within yourself, then you'll be able to receive real love. You'll know what that looks like. You'll know what that feels like. You'll know what self-love feels like. Not just, these beautiful, I see them all the time, these beautiful flowery quotes on the Instagram and you should do this with yourself. If you love yourself, you're a woman, stand strong and do it, sister. And all this bullshit that you talking, but you ain't walking. See, I comes to bring the real. Over here on Love Your Damn Self podcast, we talk about self-love, but we also talk about healing, and we do it with real talk and with transparencies. And I try to always communicate my own stuff. Because, see, I can't tell you about you, but what I can tell you about is me. And helping to give you a mirror, because you're my reflection. You are me and I am you, helping you to see those parts in you that you don't want to see, those painful parts. They're in me. That ugliness, that's in me. That beautiful part, that's in me. That strength, that's in me. If you see strength in me, it's because you see strength in you. If you see beauty in me, you see beauty in you. If you see, whatever flaws you want to pick out about me, that's because you see that in you, right? Your perception is your reality. That's your own reality. So I hope that this can help to give you what we call a reality check, so that you can see where some bad programming might be for you, and you can get your little system tweaked up and glitched up. Hey, you might roll out with a whole new joint. You know what I mean? You just got a stimulus check, a real one with real paper money, right? So think of this like an emotional stimulus, a mental stimulus. You feel me? And you could go and you could spell that. You could spend that emotional or that mental or that spiritual stimulus on a new piece of something that you need. Sometimes you can't even fix it. You just got to throw the whole damn thing away. Just this garbage. This is trash. Throw the whole damn thing away. Throw the whole damn woman away. Throw the whole damn man away. This is trash. And just get you a new one and just start over. Sometimes we got to do that. This shit is just too damaged. Let me tell you something. My computer, y'all know I love. For those of you who don't know, I'm a workaholic. I admit it. Hello, My name is Malika, and I'm a workaholic, right? So, my computer about maybe a year and a half ago started its descent. Started bugging, glitching, twitching, and all of this. And I would just fix it and, do all this stuff. And so finally I just gave up. I said, you know what? To hell with this. I put it up on the thing, unscrewed it all, took out the hard drive, and I made it. I've been making it on my little phone for about, well, maybe almost a year now. And so, I said, listen, I got a little piece of money. I said, I'm going to buy me a new computer. But before I do that, just one last try. I called the computer guy. He came over here. I made a little place for him on the couch. I said, sit right here. I made it all nice for you. I had the thing going in there. About 2 minutes in, he said, ma'am, this ain't going to work. He said, you got to get a whole new one. This shit is done. And I already knew it was done, but I was just giving it, I ain't want to just kick out them hundreds to get a whole new one. You know what I'm saying? So I was just kind of seeing what we could do with the old one. But that's how we have to do something. All of everything that I had on there, all of the memory and just so much stuff. But I've been doing without it for so long, I don't even remember what's on there. So I didn't really need it. You feel me? And that's how it is with us. Sometimes there's some old stuff on there so long, we don't need it. Just get rid of it and start over. So I want you to start breaking the programs, that you have in your life, looking at them, okay, having awareness about them, then getting a strategy. Okay, this what I'm going to do. Some of y'all might have to jump blindly and just, hey, I'm just going to get rid of them and just we going to roll with it and see what happens. But whatever you do, I believe all roads will lead to. Even doing that is loving your damn self because you're taking time out to do something for you that's going to be meaningful and powerful in your life. Now, we went a long time today, y'all. I'm at 28:47, and I think the first part was like almost 20 minutes. So I'm going to be ending this, but I love you so much. If you want to get in touch with me, all of the information is below this video, wherever you're watching it. And let's do that. Let's connect. All right. And until then, love your damn self.